The lost sheep of the Nupe people long ago, in the heart of Nupe land, when rivers whispered to the moon and forests breathed secrets into the wind, there was a village called Tswaka. The people of Tswaka lived by the rhythm of the earth, tending to their goats, cows, and above all, their sheep. Sheep were sacred, believed to be gifts from the river spirits, guiding the people through drought and famine. But one sheep was different. It was pure white, with eyes that shimmered like silver in the moonlight. The villagers called it Ejiro, the spirit sheep. They said whoever followed its bleating voice at night would find either great fortune or great doom. The elders warned never to let the sheep wander, but fate has its own paths. New moon the vanishing one night, during the harmattan when dust turned the skies pale and the air dry, the sacred sheep vanished. No tracks, no bleating, no sign, only silence. Panic swept through Tswaka. The people whispered of curses, of spirits calling their dead. The chief summoned the bravest hunters, but they returned empty-handed, trembling, muttering that the forest itself had swallowed the sheep. Then rose Ndabala, a strong and restless man, known for his courage and stubbornness. He swore before the ancestors, "If the spirits have taken Ejiro, then I shall walk into their world and bring it back." By his side came Nambaji, a woman of deep wisdom, feared by some for her closeness to the unseen. With her herbs and charms, she vowed to guide Ndabala. They were joined by Kashi, a curious girl barely 16, who had grown up listening to stories of the spirit sheep. Against all warnings, she followed them, whispering, "The sheep always called to me in my dreams. Perhaps it wants me there." Last was Ndarufa, a quiet man, shadowy, who rarely spoke, but whose eyes held secrets of places no mortal should know. Some said he was touched by the river spirits. Some said he was cursed. Together, the four entered the forest. Evergreen tree, the forest of whispers. The deeper they went, the stranger the forest became. The air thickened. Shadows stretched longer than they should. Trees seemed to move when no one looked. At night, they heard the bleating of the sheep, faint, far away, echoing like a child's cry. But each time they followed, it led them deeper into the unknown. Kashi swore she saw the sheep between the trees, its silver eyes glowing. But when she ran forward, it vanished, leaving only hoofprints that turned into handprints in the soil. Nambaji whispered to Ndabala, "This is no ordinary sheep. It is the voice of the forgotten dead." Fire the spirits awaken on the third night. They reached an ancient clearing. At its center was a broken shrine covered in ashes. The lost sheep stood there, glowing faintly, staring at them. But then the ground shuddered. Out of the earth rose figures, tall, gaunt, skin clinging to bone, their eyes hollow, their mouths wide with eternal hunger. These were the Equinsu, spirits of those who had once been sacrificed to the rivers. The sheep bleated, and the spirits lunged. Ndabala swung his spear, but it passed through their bodies as though striking smoke. Nambaji scattered charms, her voice rising in incantations. Kashi clutched her amulet, trembling, and Ndarufa only watched. His lips curled into a strange smile. Drop of blood, the betrayal. When dawn broke, they found themselves still alive, the spirits gone, the sheep standing silently in the clearing. But something had changed. That night, Nambaji dreamt of blood running down the baobab trees. She saw Ndarufa standing beside the sheep, his hand on its back, his eyes glowing silver. She awoke in terror, but it was Kashi who discovered the truth. Ndarufa had been the one who led the sheep into the forest. He had made a secret pact long ago, offering the sacred sheep to the Equinsu in exchange for power. Now, with the sheep found, the spirits demanded not just the animal, but the souls of those who followed it. New moon the final night, on the seventh night, the sheep bleated louder than ever. The forest itself seemed alive, trees bending, roots crawling like snakes. The Equinsu returned, countless, surrounding them. Ndabala fought with all his might, but every strike grew weaker. Nambaji's charms burned to ash in her hands. Then, Kashi stepped forward. Tears streamed down her face, but her voice was steady. "If the sheep came to me in dreams, then perhaps it chose me. If a soul must be taken, let it be mine." She placed her hand on the sheep. Instantly, its silver eyes blazed like fire, and the spirits screamed, retreating into the shadows. The sheep turned to mist and vanished forever. When the dawn rose, Only 3 returned from the forest. Dabala, Nambaji, and Darufa, silent, his smile darker than before. Kashi was never seen again. But on quiet nights, villagers say they hear the bleating of a sheep and the laughter of a girl in the forest. High voltage ending note, and so, the story of the lost sheep of the Nupe people is told in whispers. It is not just a tale of a vanished animal, but of spirits, betrayal, and sacrifice. Some say the sheep still roams, guiding souls into the forest. Others say it waits for the next child who dreams of its silver eyes. But all agree, when you hear the bleating of a sheep at night, never follow. Hourglass Not Done. This narration, with pacing and pauses, will last 25 to 30 minutes when read aloud dramatically.